After a moment, he edited a message on the computer and sent it, nothing better to do all day long. On the other side, a man sitting in a cafe suddenly had a dialogue box pop up on his computer screen. His hand shook, nearly spilling coffee on the keyboard. Damn, it's that kid again. He broke through my interference system. The man replied, almost gritting his teeth. You'll die if you don't show off for a day, huh? Let daddy teach you how to behave. Whoa, Yao sneered. Friendly reminder, tell your accomplice to withdraw right now. Also, don't take any more jobs related to Min Jia in the future. Do me this favor. Seeing this, the man didn't hesitate at all. He immediately pressed the earpiece under his collar and whispered a code word, then turned it off again. After a 2-second pause, he typed on the computer. You're helping Min Jia? I remember you took a job about Min Jia before. How come you returned the item, made peace with Min Jia? They're not after you anymore, okay? You really want to make trouble, huh? Meanwhile, in the neighboring villa, Yang Yi had been searching for a while when suddenly the computer screen flickered. The next moment, a satellite cloud map appeared on the screen, showing details down to specific shop addresses. In the evening, Hugh's father returned from the art exhibition, smiling happily. He looked to be in a very good mood. Huo Yao glanced at him, not knowing that his old man had nearly gotten into a small crisis. Shaking his head, he still decided to remind him, Dad, you should go out less often. It's not safe. Unaware of his daughter's true identity, Wu's father thought he was just concerned and said, Daughter, you don't know, it's really thanks to Zio Min. At this exhibition, I had the honor of meeting 3 heavyweight painting masters. Oh, give Zio Min a call. Let's have a meal together in the next couple of days. I need to thank him. Never mind, I'll tell him myself. Huo's father had already taken out his phone. Huo Yao pressed his brow, sat up straight, and took the phone from him. It's too late. He's gone back to Beijing, just caught a flight. Hearing this, Huo's father blinked. He left so quickly. He told me a few days ago that he wouldn't leave so soon. Huo Yao glanced at his father. You two seem to be getting along well now. Didn't you? Didn't I warn you? Are you trying to kill my mother? At this point, the doctor helplessly said, Mrs. He, you've misunderstood. There's nothing wrong with Miss Hugh's medicine. Hugh's father smiled. We're neighbors. It's good to maintain good relations. Besides, I think Xiao Min is a good and excellent person. Hugh Yulin, who had just come downstairs, heard his father praising their neighbor Min Yu as he approached, his brow furrowed unconsciously. Just one art exhibition invitation and his dad's heart was won over. That dog of a man, the boss's dream is, of course, to become a rich lady. Hugh Yulan looked at the book in his sister's hand and asked, How come you're reading classical Chinese now? My Chinese grades aren't good. The teacher told me to read more extracurricular books. Hearing about classical Chinese, Hugh Yulan looked surprised. You're weak in Chinese. Hugh Yao nodded, then added very severely. Although he had already secured a spot for direct admission to King Howat University for the sake of Principal Yu and Number 1 High School's reputation, he still felt it necessary to make an effort. Seeing this, Hugh Yulan's expression became very complex. A severe weakness in a subject, yet still able to rank first in the entire grade at Number 1 High School, was his little sister trying to be demoralizing. After thinking for a moment, Hugh Yuan said, You need tutoring in Chinese, right? I got it. Hugh Yao turned his head and looked at his brother strangely. What did he mean by I got it? The next day, Hugh Yao understood the true meaning of Hugh Yuan's I got it. Looking at a big box of books, he felt his scalp tingling and his head aching. Hugh Yulin rubbed his sister's head and said, How about it? Do you like it? Hugh Yao took a deep breath. It seemed that the second brother's misleading had deeply rooted in the third brother's mind. He mentally added another mark against a certain someone. Then Hugh Yao smiled obediently and nodded to Hugh Yulan, Thank you for the gift. Third brother, time flew by and soon it was New Year's Eve. This year's spring festival was the most perfect one for the Huo family. At this time, Huo's father spoke, Come, let's celebrate our family reunion. In fact, without her medicine, the patient would have to be in the intensive care unit. Hearing the director say this, the adoptive mother was instantly embarrassed. Red-faced, she asked, Director, are you sure you haven't made a mistake? This adopted daughter of mine grew up in the countryside. She doesn't know anything. How could she buy any good medicine? Happy New Year. After dinner, everyone was sitting in the living room. The second Huo brother looked at the two people playing games, especially his brother, and rolled his eyes. He said to his father beside him, Dad, control your son. Don't let him corrupt the little sister. Playing games all day long, Huo's father glanced at his second son. Isn't he your brother? Why don't you manage him? Is this how you pass the buck? You didn't act like this when you used to beat me at this point. Hu Yao stood up and said to Hu Shang, I'm going to call Grandma, you play by yourself first. Hu Shang nodded and said, give our family's regards to Grandma. Hu Yao replied with a okay and walked out. He talked to Grandma on the phone for about half an hour after hanging up. He opened WeChat and saw that someone with the nickname, a crazy person, had requested to add him as a friend after agreeing. Huo Yao took the initiative to greet, Uncle, Happy New Year. At this time, the third brother came over and put a scarf on him. It's cold, I just sent your account to Uncle, accept his request later. Uncle hasn't used WeChat before, so he might reply slowly, I see. Huo Yao nodded in understanding. It seemed that this uncle of his must be a retro middle-aged man. At this moment, his WeChat notification sounded. He looked at the transfer on his phone and fell into deep thought again. A few seconds later, Wei Yao asked third brother, his uncle's family very rich? Huo Yulan was taken aback by this question. He then replied, they're doing all right. Just accept what uncle gives you. Little sister, do you have any dreams? Weio raised her eyebrows. Does dreaming of being a salted fish count? If not, being a rich lady would do. He thought about how he was once rich too, but now he didn't dare touch that money at all. What kind of dream is being a salted fish? Third brother can help you achieve your second dream. Hearing his third brother's casual words, Huo yeah, though he should have felt touched, inexplicably felt a bit self-conscious as a poor person. They were all richer than him. The director, however, said seriously, are you questioning our medical standards? The adoptive mother, who had misspoken, quickly smiled apologetically and said, that's not what I meant. The director left with one last sentence, Mrs. He, don't let prejudice blind you. Share all the good things you see with you. The Spring Festival Gala was still playing on TV. Hu Yao was lying on the bed playing with her phone. At 0100 on New Year's, her WeChat started dinging nonstop, just as Hu Yao was about to open WeChat. A video call came in, it was from little fat sheet next door. He raised his eyebrows slightly and answered, Happy New Year. Menu's low, hoarse voice came through, Happy New Year to you too, Huo Yaking. It's so late, I thought you were asleep. Liu stood on the balcony. Large snowflakes were falling. He stretched out his hand, and the snowflakes touching his palm quickly melted. Oh, is it snowing? It's not snowing. Liu pointed the camera outside and said, I don't have anything going on, just wanted to share the New Year atmosphere with you. Hu Yao opened the curtains. The fireworks bursting in the sky everywhere were reflected in his eyes. He replied, let me share mine with you too. Looking at the scenery outside, they both smiled. At this moment, Minyu coughed twice, hearing the sound. Hu Yao asked, did you catch a cold a little bit? Minyu cleared her throat. You should rest early then. Good night. She quickly hung up the phone. Hu Yao lay back on the bed just as he opened WeChat. He saw the entire screen filled with transfer notifications from top to bottom. Everyone seemed to have coordinated as all the transfer amounts were exactly the same. Looking at these, Huo Yao couldn't help but rub his nose. He thought he could take a screenshot and post it on Weibo to show off. The title could be Wow, Red Envelope Uniform, but after thinking about it, he decided against it. He wanted to be a good person. After seeing the transfer message from his eldest brother, Hu Yao's fingertips paused. He thought about what his second brother had mentioned. The news agency that spread rumors about you being the CEO of Hefeng, eldest brother acquired it, although he didn't say it. Meanwhile, Huo Yangxi was still awake, holding his phone. His gaze remained fixed on the screen as if waiting for something at this moment. When he saw Huo Yao's message saying, thank you, big brother, his eyes lit up with excitement. The spring festival passed quickly. Seeing the director leave unhappily, the adoptive mother directly pointed her anger at Huo Yao. You're happy now that you've made me lose face in front of the director, aren't you? In the blink of an eye, it was the start of the second semester for the third year of high school. Yifeiyu turned to his cousin and asked, by the way, who's giving the speech as the student representative for your third year? Is it you? Shafan, Yi Lionfin's hand holding the chopsticks paused. He lowered his head and said, it's not me. Seeing this, Yifeiyu just glanced at him sideways. Now you know what it means that there's always someone better out there. Yi Lionfin pushed his cousin aside. You're so annoying. At this moment, a gentle female voice interjected. Feiyu, what a coincidence, you're eating here too. Hearing the voice, Yifeiyu's expression became slightly more composed. It's been a long time since I ate at #1 high school's cafeteria. Having the chance to return to my alma mater, I decided to eat here with my cousin and junior schoolmate. Let me introduce you. This is also a senior from Sanggua University, John Minjue from the biology department. Hello, Zhang Minju politely asked. Mind if I join? The third-year representative is not only beautiful but also an all-rounder. Big shot, I heard you've been taking extra Chinese lessons. Chinese is not easy to improve. I'll find some test papers for you later, specifically for reading comprehension questions. Huo Yin's eyes were full of rejection. Huo Yao said helplessly, I've told you about this value before, but the adoptive mother saw this as Huo Yao's provocation. No need, Yili and Fan smiled devilishly. Yes, yes, don't be polite with me. After all, the big shot sent me a box of test papers before. If I don't find a chance to repay this favor now, it might be even harder in the future. Yifeiyu, hearing their conversation, asked Hayao in surprise, Is your Chinese score not good? Hayao sighed lightly, It's quite poor. Meng Yang, who was eating, choked. She remembered that Sister Zhu got 131 points in Chinese in the last monthly exam. Is that considered poor? Meng Yang seriously suspected that someone had been pretending to be weak from the beginning. John Minju beside them curiously asked Feiyu, Is this little junior of yours in the third year of high school? Feiyu frowned for third-year students. It might be too late to start cramming Chinese now. I suggest looking at this year's key point summary more. Huo Yao looked up at Zhang Minju. Then nodded. Senior, you're right. Zhang Minju humbly lowered her head and said, We've all been through high school. I remember I only started to worry when it was close to the exam. Luckily, the college entrance exam that year wasn't difficult. Otherwise, I might have missed out on Peking University, Meng Ying, and Tang Wei Yao. After walking out of the cafeteria, Meng Ying couldn't hold back anymore. That senior was just trying to show off. Wasn't she? She didn't say anything about you rejecting Sangua's early admission offer, but her tone gave me goosebumps. Meanwhile, Zhang Minjue looked shocked. The girl who just said her Chinese scores were very poor is today's third-year representative. It seems #1 high school is really going downhill now. Otherwise, how could they choose such a student as a representative? Yifeiyu glanced at Zhang Minju as they walked downhill. He remembered that his national ranking had risen from 5th to 3rd. At that moment, Zhang Minju's phone rang. He apologized to Yifeiyu and then answered the call. Senior Mu, you've already arrived at #1 high school, right? Okay, Feiyu and I will come over to meet you now. Shortly after they met up, Yifeiyu saw Hu Yao walk in. He introduced Mu Chain and Zhang Minju, saying, Zhang Minju, whom you've already met in the cafeteria. This is Mu Chain, who graduated in 2005 and ranked second nationally at that time. Huo Yao nodded politely. Senior Mu and Zhang Minjue looked at Huo Yao's empty hands with disdain, not excellent enough and doesn't even know to work hard, not even preparing a script. Could it be that poverty limited my imagination? But when she saw an extremely expensive painting in the living room, she doubted her life even more. She could only comfort herself by thinking it must be a high-quality replica. Even if the Huo family had some means, they couldn't afford such an authentic work by a famous artist. She angrily left. All of this was seen by the grandmother. She tightly held Huo Yao's hand and said with self-reproach, Child, I'm sorry you've been wronged. Soon after, the speech event began. After her performance, Zhang Minjue looked towards Huo Yao and Yifeiyu in the distance, her brows slightly furrowed with coldness. Meanwhile, Huo Yao said to Yifeiyu, Senior, let's wait until after the college entrance exam to choose majors. Yifeiyu looked dejected. You're already a guaranteed admit to Sanggua University. Why do you still care so much about the exam? The professor had repeatedly urged him to bring people to the physics department, which wasn't easy. At this moment, the host's voice came through. Please welcome our senior high school student representative, Huo Yao. To give a speech, Huo Yao calmly approached the podium. He looked at the students below, the corners of his lips curling into a smile. Actually, the 3 seniors before me have already said everything very well, so I just want to ask everyone one question. With 1 month left until the college entrance exam, do you all still remember what your dreams are? The naughty sister's unexpected birthday gift for her brother. Junior Minju, you should have gone to the bathroom a bit later. You missed an excellent speech. Nu Qing's handsome face showed obvious regret. Zhang Minju's brow furrowed even deeper. It's okay, I can watch the recording later, but in her heart she thought, how great could it be? Just some attention-seeking tricks. At this moment, the principal in Wei Yao walked in. The principal looked at everyone and said, I booked a restaurant. Let's all have dinner together tonight. I can't go, I have something at home today. It's his dog's second brother's birthday today. If he's absent, he might hold a grudge for a year. Soon after, Huo Yao left. Principal Yu looked at Mu Chang. Zhang Minju and others. Yang Vuat has a good personality. If you encounter him at school in the future, I hope you seniors can take care of him a bit more. Soon after, the three walked out of the principal's office. Zhang Minju looked at Yifeiyu and asked, "What did the principal mean just now when he said to take care of Junior Vuat? Does Junior Vuat have a guaranteed admission to Tsinghua University and will be going there in the future?" Yifeiyu was about to explain when Zhang Minju interrupted in surprise. Guaranteed admission. Wei Yao comforted her. "Grandmother, I don't take it to heart, you don't need to blame yourself." The more Hu Yao said this, the more upset grandmother felt. Meanwhile, Hu Yao arrived at a high-end pet store. The owner next to him introduced, "These two are purebred husky puppies, brown eyes, this one is more mischievous, heterochromia is quite rare." Hu Yao looked at the huskies in front of him and asked, "Are these two the same price?" The owner shyly rubbed his head and replied, "Not the same. The one with heterochromia is more expensive." 3 yuan. Hearing this, Hu Yao decisively said, "Ordinary people should have ordinary dogs. I'll take the one with brown eyes afterwards." Huo Yao bought a full set of dog raising equipment and left the pet store with menu. When Huo Tinger saw his sister, his eyes immediately lit up. "Sister, is this the birthday gift you're giving to your second brother? There are actually 2 boxes." It wasn't in vain that he hinted crazily for a week. Huo Yao looked at her second brother. She nodded and handed him the smaller of the 2 boxes. "Happy birthday, second brother." "Thank you, little sister." Huo Tinger smiled and accepted the gift. He pushed his glasses up his nose slightly. Wanting to show off, he said tactfully, "I'll open it when everyone's here." Today, he was the most enviable person in this family. After everyone had arrived, Huo Tinger deliberately said, "Everyone. Look, this is the birthday gift my sister carefully selected for me." "What gift?" Huo Shang beside him inevitably asked with a bit of envy. Huo Tinger eagerly cut the ribbon on the box. Then he opened the box lid. When he saw the puppy inside, Huo Tinger's hand trembled, and his voice shook. "What the hell is this?" Heaven knows he was most afraid of dogs. He had been bitten when he was young. Huo Yao patted his shoulder. "Second brother. Don't you like this gift?" Huo Tingerui's cheek twitched. The words "don't like" were stuck in his throat for half a day, and then they somehow turned into "I like it." Huo Shang, who was originally quite envious, wasn't envious anymore. He picked up the husky and said seriously, "Second brother, congratulations on becoming a father. Don't you want to hold your son?" "Yao Yao is too kind for the sake of my feelings. She doesn't even defend herself when misunderstood by Zio Man. She suffered too many grievances. It seems I need to make up my mind." Wei Yao brought her fourth brother to visit grandmother. Grandmother was very happy. While Hu Yao went to the bathroom, she earnestly told the fourth brother, "Yao Yao has never received parental love since she was young." Huo Tinger watched the husky approaching him, his fear rising to his throat. "Don't come near me." The brother who lived alone swore he would never raise a husky in his life, who knew he would be slapped in the face the next moment. Second brother doesn't know how to raise a dog. No worries, this book can solve all your questions. They were too mischievous. Even insisting on naming the dog Hugh Shower, he couldn't stay in this house for even a minute longer. Raising a dog was impossible. It would never be possible in this life. From today on, he would return to his happy life of living alone. Originally, Huo Yao thought this would be a quiet dog, but she didn't expect a misjudge. These past 2 days, as soon as she got home from school, the little thing would follow her around. If she ignored it, it would bite her pant leg, so young yet so mischievous. Huo Yao came to the living room and saw her father packing things with a dark face. He was packing Huo Shower's things. Huo Yao asked confusingly. "Dad," with a gloomy face, Huo's father said, "What's this?" "I'll send Huo Shower to Huo Lauer's place later." "Why should we help raise his own son?" Huo bit his lip and twitched. What happened? At the mention of this, Huo's father felt pain even in his breathing. "That dog broke my Song Dynasty blue and white porcelain vase. Just 2 days of raising him and we've lost millions. This money pit indeed isn't for ordinary people to raise." Then Huo Yao, with her hands on her hips, said seriously, "Dad, I support you. Is everything packed?" "It's all packed, but I might not be able to carry that much stuff alone. Why don't you go with Dad?" "All right." Huo Yao had nothing else to do, so she agreed. Soon, one heartbroken over antiques and one over money. The two women, along with Huo Shower and his parent, headed straight to Huo Tinguri's place. They took the elevator to the 15th floor and walked to room 1501. Huo's father entered the password on the fingerprint lock panel. At this moment, the incorrect password warning sound rang out. Huo's father frowned. "Impossible." This is his home password. This dog couldn't have changed the password. I'll leave everything to you from now on. Fourth brother feels strange. He can only say seriously that Yao Yao actually loves you very much. Even though she's returned to our family, you'll always be her closest person. Grandmother's eyes moistened upon hearing this. Could he? Huo Yao, standing behind, immediately said, Dad, let me. Huo Yao quickly tapped her fingertips on the password lock. After a few seconds, there was a ding-ding sound. The door opened. As soon as they walked into the hall, they saw a mess everywhere. Hugh's father let out a cold laugh. This dog, he's been tortured by Hugh's shower these 2 days. His old back is almost ruined, yet he's throwing a party at home. Meanwhile, Hugh Tinger received a message from his little sister and panicked internally. Second brother, Dad's blue and white porcelain vase was knocked over and broken by your son. He's not in a good mood. You better watch out. Hugh Tinger quickly replied, Sister, comforting our dad is up to you. Second brother won't be coming home for a while. Hugh Yao sent him back an obedient emoji. Seeing this, Hugh Tinger thought his sister would speak up for him, so he relaxed a bit. Fortunately, his sister had informed him. Otherwise, if he went home now, he'd be done for. After work, as Hugh Tinger was opening his door, he sighed with relief. Good thing I changed the home password, otherwise Dad would definitely have brought Hugh shower here. Hugh Tingray turned on the light switch on the wall. In an instant, the rolling figure of Hugh Shower came into view. Hugh Tingray froze on the spot. The whole family set out to send their beloved little sister to the college entrance exam. In the blink of an eye, it was exam day before Hugh Yao left. Hugh's mother checked her toolkit several times, afraid of leaving something behind. She looked as nervous as if she was the one taking the exam. Hugh Yao told her to calm down, amused. Nearby, Hugh Tingray kicked his silly son. Go cheer on your aunt, receiving his father's instruction. Hugh Shower eagerly wagged his tail and walked up to Hugh Yao, gently rubbing against her leg. Hugh Yao patted Hugh Shower's head and said, Looks like you two are getting along well. Hugh Tingray sighed inwardly. Who could understand the hardship of forced interaction? Good luck, our family's top scorer, said Hugh Yenshi, standing nearby, also looking at her. Little sister, all the best in the exam. At this moment, Wei Yao returned. Grandmother turned her back and said softly that as she's getting old, her energy isn't enough. Yao Yao, you and your brother should go home early. I need to rest for a while. Huo Yao looked at Huo Yenshi and replied with a thanks. Huo Yenshi smiled. The fingers hanging at his side relaxed. All right, your sister is going to take the exam. Whatever you have to say it when she comes back soon after. Huo Yao arrived at the exam venue accompanied by her parents at 9 o'clock sharp. The invigilator walked in, the exam began. Huo Yao took the paper and, as usual, quickly scanned through the questions. Soon she picked up her pen and started answering. As soon as the ending bell rang, Huo Yao was the first to walk out of the exam room. Just as she got outside, an ambulance drove into the school grounds. At this time, 2 students' parents rushed up and asked her if the exam was difficult. Huo Yao was silent for 2 seconds, then looked at them and replied it was okay, so it wasn't particularly difficult, right? The parents instinctively interpreted it this way. Huo Yao's words were not only interpreted this way by these parents, but also by other parents nearby who overheard. They said, I just saw a student who was under too much pressure being taken away by an ambulance. I was so scared after Huo Yao left. Some students came out crying. The exam questions were too difficult this time, I couldn't even finish them all. The parents were confused. Wasn't it said that the questions weren't difficult, that it was okay? After Hayao reunited with her parents, her mother handed her the phone. The exam must have been tiring. When we get home, Mom will make you something nutritious. Oh, by the way, your WeChat has been buzzing a lot. Just then, the principal called Hayao pressed answer. Little Hugh, do you remember Professor Zhao Lian I introduced to you before? The principal's first words were to ask this. Hugh Yao coldly responded, Yes, he asked for your WeChat. I sent him your contact card. Make sure to accept his friend request. Hugh Yao pressed her brow and replied. Okay, beside her, Hugh's mother saw her daughter hang up and curiously ask, Did your principal ask about your exam? He wants me to add a professor from Sangyu University. Hugh Yao replied while her fingers tapped the screen to accept the friend request. Then she politely greeted Zhao Lion. Hearing this, Hugh's mother straightened up. Then you should chat with the professor properly. Hugh Yao also felt that grandmother was acting strange today, but still said, Grandma, I'll come see you again tomorrow. After Hugh Yao left, grandmother lay on her side, tears flowing involuntarily. It seems she had made an important decision. After a while, pride appeared on her face, as expected of my daughter. Even before the results are out, a Sangyua professor is eager to have you. So prestigious, a week later, just as Hayao finished her driving practice, she saw Tan Yu waving at her from the roadside. As soon as she got in the car, Hoyo asked, "Brother Tan, you came to find me today." "Is there something?" Tan Yu scratched the back of his head embarrassingly. "There was indeed an important matter that needed your help. Brother's concert, inviting sister to be the final mystery guest. Actually, I ask you out today because I need your help with something. Your brother is about to have a concert. I want to invite you to be his final mystery guest." "Mystery? Shouldn't the guest be someone from your circle? Am I not quite suitable?" Tung nodded and said it's suitable. "When you and your brother were on the variety show before, fans really liked you. Compared to inviting other celebrities, your presence would mean more to Hugh Shan." Hugh looked at Tung and asked, "My brother doesn't know about this, right?" Tong Yu coughed. "If your brother knew we were asking you to be the mystery guest, he definitely wouldn't agree." "Please, little sister, just consider it as helping me." "No, helping your brother fulfill a wish for his billions of fans." Yao paused for a moment before speaking. "When is the concert?" Tong Yu's eyes lit up. He quickly said, "It's in 10 days and the concert is being held in the city." Having settled this, the two didn't chat much longer and soon parted ways. Tan Yu took out his phone and edited a WeChat message to send. "The person has been secured." At this time, Jin Sayuan walked over and directly asked, "Who is Hugh Chang's backer?" Tan Yu frowned. "What backer? Since our Lucky signed with the company, he's reached his current position through his own efforts. Don't always look down on people. I don't believe that since Sean Nan left the circle and said that sentence about not causing trouble to him, you've secretly had detectives investigate his background. No matter how much we investigate, Wu Zhang's family seems very ordinary. But Sean Nan wouldn't say such things casually. Fine, just assume he has a big boss behind him. Keep your artists in check from now on, otherwise they'll be the next Sean Nan." I don't know if you've ever had a psychic connection. Hugh Yao, who had just finished school, suddenly remembered what grandmother said yesterday. "Yao Yao, I know your current family treats you well." After saying this, Tom Yu left. Time flew by, and soon it was the day of the concert. Weirder had just arrived at the venue when she heard a young girl excitedly say, "Little Princess is finally having a concert again. I've waited so long. I can see the captain's beautiful face again." "I'm so excited." Hugh Yao lowered her eyes to look at her empty hands. Without even a light stick, let alone a support sign, it was a bit embarrassing. She looked like a fake fan. A girl next to her gently pushed her arm. "Hey sister, which area's support management are you from? I haven't seen you before." Hugh Yao was silent for 2 seconds before saying, "I'm not support management." Hearing this, the girl exclaimed in surprise, "Could it be? You're the lucky fan who was chosen this time. I heard the lucky fan this time has a mysterious big gift." "So envious, but as long as you like Lucky, we're sisters. Here, take this. I was worried about not having a hand to hold my self-made lightboard." "Now I'm relieved." Huo Yao stared blankly at the support sign in her hand and said, "Thank you." Soon, the concert officially began. The explosive opening sounds suddenly rang out as the dazzling and colorful lights came on. The atmosphere in the entire venue was instantly lifted. It was Huo Yao's first time attending such a large-scale concert. Watching the hot dance on stage and the enthusiastic cheers of fans below, it felt like entering another world. She raised an eyebrow slightly, her gaze falling on her fourth brother in the center of the stage. The little princess was indeed very popular. Meanwhile, Tan Yu looked at the time on his wrist and smiled. "The response today is too good. The concert time has been extended by an hour, but it's still okay. We'll make it." After Hugh Yao changed into her formal dress and came out, Tang Yu suddenly said to her little sister, "There's a surprise." Grandmother can rest assured now. A sense of unease welled up. Hugh Yao raised her eyes to look at him, seeming confused. Little sister's 18th birthday deserves to be celebrated by everyone. Hugh Chang came to Hugh Yao's side and said softly, "Sis, happy 18th birthday." Under his guidance, Hugh Yao raised her head to look at the sky. She saw drones arranged in the air forming a line of words. "Happy 18th birthday and graduation." Little sister, at this time, Tang Yu pushed out a big cake. Hugh Chang put the crown on Hugh Yao. Hugh Yao smiled and said, "Thank you." Fourth brother Hugh Cheng, watching his sister make a wish, thought to himself, "We missed many years of our sister's past. But this 18th year, the most colorful age in life, my sister deserves to be blessed by everyone." Backstage, Peng Yu saw Hu Yao come in, wished her a happy birthday, and then smiled and said, "How was it? Were you moved by the surprise your brother prepared?" Hu Yao said, "I really didn't expect to receive such a special gift tonight," so she nodded honestly. But after a few seconds, her expression changed and she asked, "How much did it cost to rent these 3.586 drones?" Tang Yu instinctively replied, "About 300 yuan. It's a friendly price, not expensive. Several hundred thousand gone in just a few minutes." This spendthrift, Hu Yao, suddenly felt it difficult to breathe. She didn't say anything more and went to change clothes. At this time, Hu Shang walked in. "Don't mention money matters to my sister in the future." After spending so much time together, he knew his sister's money-saving nature. Tang Yu became increasingly confused. "HMPH, I hate you enigmatic people the most. I'm going back to my internet. Wow, we've taken over the top 5 hot searches." Hu Yao rushed to the hospital as fast as possible, only to find grandmother's bed empty. At this moment, Hu Yao's mind was in chaos. The next morning early, a person and a dog were running towards the lake. From afar, they saw Ming Yu, also in sportswear. As they got closer, they greeted each other with a good morning. Ming Yu's gaze fell on Hu Yao's face, fair and serene. Different from the exquisitely made-up photos on Weibo last night, two different styles. Minju sighed softly in her heart, feeling a bit regretful. She said, "Happy birthday again." Hu Yao nodded, gently replied, "Thank you." Little Hu desperately tried to pounce on Minju. Minju glanced at little Hu. "He's grown quite a bit, mainly because he eats a lot," Hu Yao said with slight disdain. The two walked along the lake. Minju turned to look at the girl beside her and casually asked, "The college entrance exam results will be out soon, right?" Hu Yao nodded. "Tomorrow." Minju asked again, "Will you live at school or outside?" "Outside. My third brother has already found a place." Minju listened, her expression changing for a moment. "Isn't your third brother always developing abroad? He's not going back." Huo Yao finished speaking, then saw little Huo running away. Wang chased after him, looking at the distant figures. Li Yu let out a helpless sigh. "Someone is still clueless. It's too difficult, so mysterious. What business do father and son have that I can't hear?" "Little sister, that guy next door came looking for you again," Huo Tinger said in a low voice. Huo Yao glanced at him. "He has a name, let me tell you. Although you're already 18, you still can't date early. You're about to enter university. You should focus on your studies. Understand?" Huo Tinger said earnestly. Having heard such words countless times, Huo Yao picked at her ears, indicating she didn't want to listen. Huo Tinger didn't give up and continued to follow, trying to brainwash his sister, but he was interrupted by Dad Huo, who came out. "Oh, Yao Yao, remember to call little Min from next door to come over for lunch later." He quickly tried to call grandmother, but was met with the cold prompt that the phone was turned off. He then went to the nurse's station to inquire and learned that the old lady had been discharged early in the morning. Dad Huo instructed his daughter. "Okay," Huo Yao responded while drinking milk. Huo Tinger looked at his father, seeing he had no sense of crisis at all. He immediately pressed his brow, not wanting to think about it. He continued brainwashing. "Dad, I think we father and son need to have a good talk." Dad Huo glanced at him and raised his hand in refusal. "I have nothing to talk about with you." Huo Tinger was stunned. "Your most beloved daughter is about to be taken away by someone. Haven't you noticed at all?" Dad Huo didn't look at his second son again and turned back into the kitchen. Huo Yao finished her milk from a distance. She accurately threw the box into the trash can. The movement was cool. Her appearance a bit roguish. Huo Tinger, who saw this scene, felt a sense of déjà vu of Uncle Chanfeng's group style, shaking his head. Huo Tinger quickly denied this thought. Although his sister was sometimes quite dark-hearted, she was generally an obedient child, speak of the devil. The phone in Hua Tinguri's pocket rang. He took it out and saw Uncle Changfeng's nickname on it. His hand trembled and he almost dropped the phone, seeing he hadn't answered for a long time. Dad Huo asked curiously, "Why aren't you answering the phone?" Hua Tinger looked up at his father, Uncle Changfeng. Dad Huo's head felt a bit heavy. He then waved his hand, "Go outside to answer the call." Hua Tinger nodded and took the phone to the garden. Hearing Uncle Chanfeng mentioned again, Hu Yao watched her second brother's figure, her eyebrows slightly raised, so mysterious. At this moment, Dad asked, "Yao Yao, do you like calligraphy and paintings too?" Before Dad could finish, Mom interrupted. At this point, Hu Yao became even more panicked. He ran while making phone calls, naively thinking he could still catch up. Huo Tinger walked to the garden and answered the phone. Uncle Chanfeng, do you need something from me? On the other end, Huo Chanfeng chuckled. Isn't it the young Mrs. birthday today? I bought some gifts. I'll drive over to deliver them later. Huo Tinger was stunned. Uncle Chanfeng, you're coming over? Yes, it's time I formally meet the young miss who owed Chanfeng thought about fungi's emergency. In the past 6 months, it had hardly recurred. It was all thanks to that bottle of medicine who owed Tingray pressed his temples. After hesitating for 2 seconds, he found an excuse. We have guests at home today. Let's find another opportunity another day. That doesn't matter. I'll just hand over the gift to the young miss, say a few words, and leave. Why don't you ask my dad who owed Tingray coughed? I just called your dad, but no one answered. So this Pixio was actually kicked over by his dad. He said into the phone, then Uncle Chanfeng, wait a moment. I'll go call my dad to talk to you. After saying this, he walked to his father's side and handed the phone directly to him. Uncle Chanfeng is looking for you. Looking at the phone screen showing the call was still connected, Dad Hewitt was speechless, this son who doesn't understand the situation. The young miss is the most excellent heir. Yao Yao, anyway, you have nothing to do during the summer vacation. Once the college entrance exam results are out, go find your third brother. Get familiar with Beijing's environment in advance. Why is Dad suddenly supporting me to leave? He and second brother are acting strange. It seems related to Uncle Chanfeng's call. The phone still couldn't get through. Huo Yao kept blaming himself. I should have noticed grandmother's unusual behavior yesterday. Huo Yao arrived at grandmother's apartment, but the nanny told him the old lady hadn't returned from the hospital yet. Huo Yao fell silent. Sheixu then said, I'm learning to drive. Dad Huo confirmed. He had forgotten about this. Then he said, no problem. Cancel it here and register for a new one in Beijing, Huo Yao said seriously. Although our family isn't short of money, we shouldn't waste like this. The next day, Huo Yao walked out after finishing her subject to exam. At this time, the instructor beside her excitedly said, my son scored over 530 in the college entrance exam. It's enough for first-year university admission. Seeing Huo Yao startled behind him, the instructor said somewhat embarrassedly, sorry, I was too excited just now. I scared you. It's okay. Congratulations, little Huo. You're also a college entrance exam student this year, right? The college entrance exam results are out. What's your exam number? I'll check it for you. Huo Yao, seeing the coach's enthusiasm, reluctantly gave him a string of numbers. Soon, Huo Yao's score came out. The coach looked at the score on it. He could hardly believe his eyes. I've found it, 750 points. Thank you, coach, I'll be going now. The other students nearby exclaimed, isn't 750 points a perfect score? That means she's the top scorer in the college entrance exam. We're learning to drive and we've met the top scorer. What incredible luck. The coach suddenly felt that his son's score of 530 something didn't seem so impressive anymore. On the other side, the score of the young miss was found. Chang Ming looked at the score on his phone. Huo Yao left immediately. His voice couldn't hide the excitement as he handed the phone to the manager, exclaiming, a perfect score? Our young miss is truly amazing. Well, look at whose daughter she is with such high intelligence. She must have taken after our Fanyi. Cheng Ming said with a smile, seizing the opportunity to praise me. Send this score to those old fellows. Let them see for themselves. Look at the Huo family's first female top scorer. At this moment, Cheng Ming saw Huo Yao hailing a taxi. The young miss is out. Should we follow her? Follow, but not too closely, be careful. Although the second master had instructed him not to go to the house yesterday, he didn't say they couldn't accidentally encounter the young miss outside. Meanwhile, Hu Yao sat in the car with her phone, replying to Yilian's message, what's your score? 736, much lower than yours. Hu Yao raised an eyebrow. Classmate E, did you forget I'm in the liberal arts stream? Thank goodness you didn't join our science class back then. Then he sent a bowing emoji. After ending the chat with Yilianfin, Huo Yao thought for a few seconds. Then she said, driver, could you please stop the car? Soon after, Huo Yao opened the door and got out of the car. She stood by the roadside without walking. As if waiting for someone, the young miss must have noticed us. Drive over there. After saying this, Huo Chenfeng straightened his clothes. Then he asked Chen Ming, I don't look fierce, do I? Chen Ming paused for a second before replying, you could try to smile a little more. Hearing this, Huo Chanfeng awkwardly stretched his stiff lips into a smile. Seeing this, Cheng Ming hurriedly said, on second thought, maybe you shouldn't smile. It was too eerie to see the usually stern man suddenly smiling. Hu Yao looked at the middle-aged man who got out of the car. Her voice sounded somewhat obedient, Uncle Chanfeng. When Huat Chanfeng heard Hu Yao's address, he couldn't hide his excitement for a moment. You recognize me? The cold-faced manager had become a fanboy of the young miss. He really couldn't think where grandmother could go in this unfamiliar place. On the other side, the foster mother received a call from the nanny saying Wu Yao had come to the apartment looking for grandmother. Huat Chanfeng tried his best to look kind and gentle. He nervously coughed twice before asking, "How about having dinner together tonight?" Hu Yao shook her head. "Sorry, Uncle Chanfeng. Mom and Dad want me to go home early." Hu Ode Chanfeng was a bit disappointed. "Then let me drive you back to the neighborhood. We'll find time to have dinner together another day." Hu O Yao nodded and got into the car. Looking at the calm and obedient Hu O Yao, Hu Ode Chanfeng couldn't help but admire her. Indeed, the young miss looked much more pleasant than her brothers. She wasn't afraid of him at all. Thinking of this, he said seriously on the surface, "By the way, congratulations on your perfect score in the college entrance exam. You're very outstanding." But in his heart, he couldn't help but be excited, as expected of the young miss. This is the demeanor that the Huo family heirs should have. Huo Yao replied neither humbly nor proudly. "Thank you for your praise, Uncle Chanfeng. It was just a normal performance." Hearing this, Hu Ode Chanfeng's lips twitched. He suddenly felt that the young Mrs. Obedience might just be a facade. She could also be quite deflating. "By the way, Uncle Chanfeng, how is Uncle's health?" Hu O Yao changed the subject, inquiring. "Master Feng's health is quite good now. It's all thanks to that bottle of medicine you had, young Master Lin brain. I heard from young Master Lin that you made that medicine yourself. Young miss, you know medicine, don't you? I studied with an old village doctor for a few years before." Hu Yao gave her usual answer. Hearing this, Hu Chenfeng fell silent for a moment. When he had asked someone about the medicine, they said that this level of medicine was particularly difficult to make. Without decades of experience in medicine preparation, it would be impossible to concoct. Hu Ode Chanfeng pondered, "Do you have any more of that medicine? If not, could you tell me about Uncle's current health condition?" Hearing this, Hu Ode Chanfeng explained the issues that the doctor had mentioned after the examination. It seemed that the heart problems were quite serious. Hu O Yao thought for a moment before responding. Surprise flashed across Hu Ode Chanfeng's eyes again. He had only mentioned some after effects, but the young miss had directly pointed out the heart problems. Her medical skills were probably even more impressive than imagined. Hua Chanfeng could barely contain his excitement. He didn't care about anything else and said, "When Uncle was young, he was shot in the chest." After Hua Chanfeng finished speaking, Hu Yao concluded the bullet fragments weren't completely removed during the first surgery. She felt something was wrong, so she called the old lady but found the phone was off finally. She contacted the hospital and learned that the old lady had been discharged. Right this time, not only did Huog Chanfeng's expression change, but even Chang Main, who was driving, almost stepped on the emergency brake. He glanced at the rearview mirror, finally truly realizing that the young miss sitting in the back was no ordinary young girl. Yes, so a second surgery was performed later. Uncle Li almost didn't wake up on the operating table. Recalling the past, who owed Chanfeng's aura of hostility unconsciously intensified. A second surgery easily leads to infection. Complications are also inevitable. How about this? I'll go back and prepare another batch of medicine. However, medicine can only treat symptoms. It can't eliminate the root cause alone. Young miss, are you saying that these problems can be completely cured? Huo Yao calmly said it's not a big deal, just a few stitches. Huo Changfeng excitedly grabbed Huo Yao's hand. "Ms. Feng Ya's future depends on you." At this moment, Huo Yao's phone rang. "Uncle Changfeng, please let go of my hand so I can answer the call." Huo Changfeng embarrassedly released his grip. "Please go ahead." Huo Yao answered the phone. "I'm already at the entrance of the community. I'll be home soon." When Huo's parents saw their daughter, they quickly set off firecrackers to welcome Yao Yao home. "Mom, Dad, why are you so happy today? Let's go home. Mom has prepared some delicious food for you today." Hu Chanfeng, watching the three of them walk away from the car, thought, "It seems our young lady has some secrets. The top scorer in the college entrance exam doesn't want to socialize, only wants to be alone with you." "Daughter, the college entrance exam results are out. Have you checked them online?" Hu Yao let out a soft sigh. Hu's mother, holding her daughter's hand, said, "You got a perfect score. The first perfect score in the history of the college entrance exam. How can you be so calm about this? It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Huo's father, standing nearby, coughed and said, "Our family has never had a top scorer before. This is a joyous occasion. We should have a big celebration," hearing her husband's suggestion. Lu Sha complained, "How could grandmother be discharged without even saying a word? She's an old lady who doesn't understand anything. She hasn't returned to the apartment. Where could she go without anyone's help?" These words reminded his showman, "You're right, someone must be behind this." Huo's mother nodded and said, "We should have a big celebration. I'll start making a guest list now. Is it necessary to make such a big deal? It's just an exam." Huo's parents immediately objected. "No, you must listen to us on this." "All right, I'll go call grandmother to tell her about the results." After returning to her room, Huo Yao made a video call to her grandmother. "Mom and Dad want to throw a celebration party. They want to invite you to stay with us for a while. Will you come?" The old lady smiled and shook her head. "My Yao Yao is so impressive. Grandmother won't come. Thank your parents for me. By the way, that jade piece I asked Xiao Min to give you during the new year. Are you wearing it? I usually keep it at home. Is that jade special?" The old lady paused for a second, then said, "Not really. It's just a jade symbolizing peace. Remember to wear it. Grandmother just wants you to be safe and sound." I understand," Hu Yao replied after hanging up. She opened the drawer beside her, opening the box. She saw the delicate white jade in the shape of a small fish. It didn't seem to have anything special about it. Downstairs, Hugh's father suddenly said, "Isn't someone from the Song family coming? Should we invite them?" Hugh's mother's voice was cold. "The Song family cut off all ties with me long ago. We don't need to bother with them." Hugh's father hugged his wife inside. "Actually, you don't need to consider my feelings too much. If you want to see the Song family, go ahead. Let's not talk about them. Let's go to sleep. We have a lot to do tomorrow." Soon, the day of the graduation celebration arrived. Congratulatory voices came from all around. The socially anxious Hu Yao barely managed to respond. At this moment, Min Yu came over and took her hand. "Excuse me, I need to borrow the top scorer for a moment. I have something to discuss with her once outside." Hu Ye let out a sigh of relief. She said, "You saved me." Min Yu handed her a gift directly, a graduation gift. "I have to return to Beijing suddenly, so I can't attend your celebration. Please apologize to your uncle and aunt for me. It must be Huo Yao who took your grandmother away. He's playing the thief crying, 'Stop thief' trick with me," so she angrily called Huo Yao. "You brought me a gift despite being so busy. I should be thanking you." Min Yu leaned forward and gently tapped Huo Yao's nose. "No matter how busy I am, I can't forget about my little friend." Huo Yao watched Min Yu walk away, then handed the gift to the person specifically in charge of collecting gifts. She then said, "I'll see you off." Outside the hotel, Min Yu waved and said, "The herbs you asked for. I've asked Zhou Yun to prepare them for you. It's hot outside. Go back quickly. Don't miss me too much. I'll be back soon." Hu Yao nodded, watching him get into the car parked by the roadside and leave. Then she turned and walked back into the hotel. Not far away, a luxury car pulled up. "Big sister celebration is being held here today." The woman looked towards the hotel entrance and asked, "Yes, I've confirmed it." Her daughter scored the top marks in the liberal arts for the college entrance exam. It said she was mistakenly swapped at birth and raised in the countryside. She only came back to manage affairs last year. The woman's gaze fell on her fingers covered in nail polish. "My sister is stupid and stubborn. If it weren't for the old man needing a match, all right, go in and call big sister out. Tell her I'm waiting here also. Keep an eye on that country girl. What secrets lie behind Hu's mother's estrangement from her family?" Lost in thought, Hu Yao didn't notice the people around her when she entered. She walked ahead of the Song family's steward and they bumped into each other. The steward frowned, looking with disdain at the young girl who didn't know how to give way. Hu Yao looked up. Her lips moved slightly, but seeing the other person's black face, she quietly withdrew her gaze. Hu Yao calmed down and decided to go back to the hospital to clarify. The nurse saw him return and hurriedly said, "I'm so sorry. We were too busy and forgot. This is what the old lady asked me to pass on to you." She walked into the hotel. How rude. The Song family steward suppressed his temper, brushing his sleeve as if trying to brush off germs. As soon as Hu Yao returned to the banquet hall, her mother saw her and waved her over. "Why are you alone? Didn't Xiao Min come just now?" Huo's mother asked, puzzled. He had to return to Beijing urgently today. He brought a gift and left, Huo Yao explained. Huo's mother took her daughter's hand and said, "All right, let mom introduce you to a few more people." Her words were cut off halfway. Huo's mother blocked her daughter's line of sight. "Mom suddenly remembered I left my phone in my bag. Can you go find it for me?" Huo Yao nodded and left without asking any questions. Mrs. Huo actively walked towards the steward of the Song family. Her meticulously made-up face had already concealed all emotions. "It's been a long time, young miss." The Song family steward politely greeted Song name. His gaze discreetly swept over the departing servants behind her. Song name's expression was cold and distant. "No need to call me young miss. I have no relation to the Song family. Go back and tell Song Kai that I won't return to the Song family. Tell him to stop harassing me in the future." The Song family is still your mother's family. Must you be so heartless? Don't you consider your biological family? What about the future of your children? The Song family steward stood straight. Speaking nonchalantly, Song Ning could hear the implied meaning in the steward's words. She shook her head. "Ignorance is bliss. You can say these things to me. But that's all. Today is my daughter's celebration. I don't want anyone or anything to ruin it. You may leave. I hope you won't regret it," the Song family steward said before walking away. Back in the car, he relayed Song Name's words verbatim to Song Kai. Song Kai raised his hand to gently rub his brow. "I guessed Big Sister would react this way. She's too stubborn," when she nodded. After receiving it, Huo Yao found it was a letter. It turned out grandmother had gone back to her hometown. Huo Yao couldn't help but think. The young Mrs. Temper is still the same as before. She doesn't consider others' feelings at all. The Song family is her maternal family after all, yet she's held a grudge against her family for over 20 years over a small matter. So there's a reason why mom and dad don't like her. Such a good family, but never mind since she's unwilling to meet. Let's leave it for now. Song Kai understood his elder sister's temperament well. Pushing too hard would only backfire. "By the way, I just ran into the young Mrs. Daughter. Although she's a top scorer in the college entrance exam, she has no manners. She's worlds apart from Miss Yaya. Don't compare everyone to Yaya." "Know your place," the steward glanced at the rearview mirror before replying. "You're right. Miss, actually, for the old master's illness, any blood relative could try. If it doesn't work with the young miss, we could try approaching her children. I heard the young Mrs. Daughter is going to study in the capital. It would be perfect timing then. What if it's a match? Good idea if it succeeds. You'll be a great contributor to the Song family." Huanzai humbly replied, "The Song family has been so good to me. I'm just doing my duty." Songzai didn't speak further. Once Big Sister's daughter was in the capital, she would be at his mercy. Then she would have no choice but to return to the Song family. The meaning of gifts between men and women is obviously affection. Such a large business as the Huo family yet can't compare to prize money. How greedy. Huo Yao, panting, carried the box back to the room. He didn't expect Zhou Yun to be so efficient, collecting the herbs he needed so quickly. Opening the box, Wu Yao suddenly found an exquisite gift box inside. Opening it revealed a delicate, fine necklace. Just then the phone on the table rang. He answered the call and heard a man's cool voice from the other end. "Did you receive the item?" Wu Yao raised an eyebrow. "Why suddenly send me a necklace?" Grandmother must have been very sad when writing this letter. Just as Hu Yao was feeling down, Min Yu's voice came through. Li Yu's lips curled slightly, half-jokingly saying, "What do you think gifts between men and women mean?" Wei Yao lazily leaned back in the chair. "I think you're trying to manipulate me. Don't think this will make me urge you to seek revenge. This necklace can go with the jade pendant the old lady gave you. The old lady said the jade would keep you safe. We shouldn't waste her good intentions." Wei Yao said helplessly. "Promoting feudal superstition is not good." He then put the phone on the table and took out the wooden box. Min Yu on the other end of the phone added, "Remember to wear it, I know." Hu O Yao replied slowly. Then put the jade pendant away. He put on the necklace. He deliberately went to look in the mirror. The exquisite necklace and the small white jade pendant matched well. It wasn't gaudy at all. Hayao raised an eyebrow. This person has good taste. A few days later, Hayao Chanfeng received a call from Hayao, inviting him to have a meal together and give him the medicine. After hanging up, the gentle expression hadn't yet faded from Hayao Chanfeng's face. In the conference room, the eyeballs of several department executives were about to fall to the ground. Was this still their cold-faced general manager? Smiling like a matchmaker, Huat Chanfeng noticed the looks from his subordinates and immediately resumed his usual cold demeanor. Is there anything else to report? If not, the meeting is adjourned. The assistant Chang Ming reminded General Manager the meeting hasn't started yet. Huat Chanfeng said, "Oh, then let's continue." After the meeting, Chang Ming came to Huad Chanfeng's office. "General Manager, if you're having lunch with the young miss, should you tell her about the Huad family's past? After all, she's an adult now. Giving her some background might help her prepare mentally." Huad Chanfeng was silent for a few seconds. He said there's no rush, Chiang Ming. He didn't continue this topic, thinking about the previous instructions. He said, "Thank you for your trouble." All right, stop showing off your old paintings. I want to show Yao Yao her room." This expression is truly rare to see. Seeing Minyu, Hu Yao asked, "How come you're here?" "I didn't ask what major you chose for university, biological research." When Huat Chanfeng heard this, his temples immediately started throbbing. "Why choose biological research? Didn't your parents object?" No, Huat Yao shook his head. When he said he wanted to study biological research, his parents were overjoyed. As if afraid he might choose other popular subjects, Hu Ode Chanfeng tried to persuade. "I think scientific research is too boring for girls. Young miss, why don't you change your major? Finance or international trade would be much better." The second master and madam are really going to great lengths to prevent the young miss from inheriting the family business. "It's too much. I like this major. I don't plan to change, but I'm planning to take a second major, physics." "Why choose physics as your second major?" When Hu Ode Chanfeng asked this, he already sounded deeply resigned. Hu Yao answered a bit sheepishly. "The reason might make you laugh, Changfeng. The physics department offers a lot of scholarships every year." Hu Changfeng seemed to be struck. The vast Hu family business can't compare to mere physics department scholarships, Windmaster. Our heir is about to run away again, saying goodbye to parents and starting a new campus life. Yao Yao went to Beijing. Take good care of yourself, don't study too hard, eat well and get enough rest. Third son, don't just focus on doing research all day. You two siblings must look after each other in Beijing. Hu Yuling replied helplessly, "I know." "Dad," Hu Yao quickly said. "Mom, Dad, we need to board now. We'll come back when we have time during holidays." Mr. and Mrs. Hewitt waved tearfully. Soon the two arrived in Beijing by plane. As soon as they got off the plane, a wave of heat hit them. Beijing is really hot. After appearing at Fourth Brothers concert and trending on social media, I've gotten used to wearing a mask when going out, but summer is really hard to bear. At this moment, the phone in her bag rang. She answered, "I just got off the plane. Which exit are you at? I'll be out in a few minutes." Minyu answered irrelevantly, "If I weren't here, how could I see you weak, helpless, and pitiful side?" He stood up and walked directly in front of Minyu, slowly approaching him. After a pause, Hu Yao looked at her third brother beside her and added, "I forgot to tell you. My third brother is also here." Hu Yulin, seeing his sister hang up the phone, asked casually, "Was that Li Yu calling?" Hu Yulin nodded. "He's waiting for us in the parking lot now." Hu Yulin's eyes turned slightly cold, but he didn't let his sister see. "My assistant's car is also waiting in the parking lot." Hearing this, Hu Yulin thought about how busy her third brother was these days. Probably his assistant was waiting for him to handle work. She turned her head to look at her third brother. "Then you go ahead and take care of your work. I'll ride with Min Yu, just send me the address later." Hu Yulin immediately realized his sister had misunderstood. He opened his mouth to say, "Actually, I'm not busy," but Yao directly interrupted. "I know you're busy." She pushed his back, gesturing for him to go quickly, forced to separate. Hu Yulin walked to parking area B. Chang Ming looked confusedly towards the exit. "Young Master Lin, where's the young miss?" Mentioning this, Hu Yulin's expression immediately darkened. He coldly dropped a sentence intercepted by a dog halfway. "Let's go to the parking lot." Li Yu asked while pulling the suitcase. "Wasn't your third brother supposed to be here too? He's busy with work stuff, so he left first," Hu Yao explained. Li Yu raised an eyebrow slightly, given that person's hostility towards him. Leaving first didn't seem like his style. Then he smiled. "Let's get in the car quickly. It's hot outside. By the way, where are you and your third brother staying?" Hu Yao looked at her phone and said Jade Bay Villas. Living there, Min Yu's voice was somewhat meaningful. Hu Yao raised an eyebrow. "Is there any problem with that place?" Min Yu smiled and shook his head. "No, it's a good place." Soon the car arrived at Jade Bay Villas. The monitoring system at the main gate scanned Min Yu's license plate and automatically let them in. Seeing this, Hu Yao raised her eyebrows. You don't live here too? Do you? Minyu chuckled. You live in Area B, I live in Area A, there's a street between us. Looks like I can change my regular residence to here now. As soon as the car stopped, Chang Min, who had returned earlier, came over. Young Master Lin asked me to wait for you here and familiarize you with the environment. Hu Yao nodded, thank you for your trouble. Turning her head, she said to Min Yu in the car, I won't invite you in to sit. Min Yu nodded, call me if you need anything. Yin Yu saw the peerless beauty up close for the first time and was unconsciously speechless. Huo Yao pretended to be angry and said, afraid your eyes aren't working well? I'll come closer so you can see clearly. When Cheng Ming saw Min Yu, his whole body unconsciously tensed up. He only looked once before involuntarily averting his gaze. Watching the car drive away, Cheng Ming's cheek twitched. So that's the dog young Master Lin was talking about. Are you the legendary Jun Wang? There were many people at the Tsinghua University Biology Department's new student registration. Huo Yao stood behind several people with her admission notice. Soon it was her turn to go in and submit documents. The teacher in charge of this new student enrollment saw Huo Yao walk in and was startled by her excessively good-looking face. Give me your admission notice first, then put your personal information in the right column. The form on the left is the enrollment registration form. Fill it out and give it to me. Huo Yao politely nodded and handed over her admission notice. The teacher opened the notice and saw the new student's name. He paused and went to the physics department head's office. Department head, did we specially recruit a liberal arts student this year? Hearing this, Kai Wei thought of what Zhao Lian had said earlier. Remember to add Hu Yao's admission notice to this year's biology department enrollment list. Don't forget, although this student is the top scorer in the college entrance exam, she's a liberal arts student. Won't it be difficult for her to adapt to science? Don't worry, Hu Yao's science knowledge should also be very solid. Thinking of this, Kai Wei said, it's fine, just register and file it. The teacher said, oh, and walked out of the office. At this time, a student came over, teacher. I've arranged everything for the new student reception on your behalf. When Hu Yao heard Zhang Minjiu's voice, she raised an eyebrow in surprise. It's actually him. The world is so small.